What's up, fam? So there's a video on TikTok going viral where there's this young 19-year-old girl says she been in jail for about 2 going on 3 years with no court date, no bond, no nothing over the charges she has received. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna watch this video because it's a lot to unpack in this video. And I'm sure that what I'm going to say will probably ruffle some feathers, but we got to speak truth to power, as they say. There's something wrong with the system. Yes. There's something wrong with the school system, and there's something wrong with the home system. When you got when you got that trifecta, man, you got no chance. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
I'm 19.
And how long you been here?
I've been here for going on 3 years since I was 17.
And why didn't you get sent to a juvenile home?
Because in the state of Georgia, you was considered as an adult at 17.
And what'd you do to end up here?
It's a long story.
And what are your charges?
I got armed robbery, aggravated assault, like serious charges. But I don't get no court date, no bond, no nothing.
So you're just kind of in limbo?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here in this dirty ass jail. Yeah. This is how the cell be looking. It could be 3 people in the room. This is how it look right now.
You know, someone's washing stuff in the sink?
Yeah, we wash our clothes in the sink.
Is that so you don't have to touch the toilet seat?
Yeah, so we don't have to touch on the toilet, put pads on the toilet.
And what do you think you'll do when you get out?
I'm going to school, get a job, do some productive stuff. Like, I ain't really lived my life. I've been here.
Is there anything you would do differently once you get out?
Yeah, don't come back.
Are you going to change your friends group? Different people?
Definitely.
Everyone has to get locked down now?
Yeah, everybody has to get locked down.
Give me that.
Ooh, man, that's a lot going on in this 1 minute clip. But I want to replay it again because it's something that I don't know if I heard right. So I want to make sure that I get the information right before I start making comments. So let's go all the way back and check it out one more time.
What's up?
How old are you?
I'm 19.
And how long you been here?
I've been here for going on 3 years since I was 17.
Okay, so going on 3 years since I was 17. So let's say all of 17, all of 18, and then she's 19. So she's probably, pretty much damn near 3 years. But with all these people here, did y'all notice this? Right?
I've been here for going on 3 years since I was 17. What's up?
Oh, catch.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
And how long you been here?
I've been here for going on
They ain't miss it. But you saw that white lady. She had on green scrubs too. So she looked like, she's in that jail too. Old white woman in jail with these young kids. So like I said, they put at 17, you considered an adult. So there's no telling what she's going on or going through in jail. It's quite possibly that she is somebody's girlfriend, little pigeon, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know about the prison lingo, ain't trying to know about it. But this is a sad situation that you see a woman, a girl that's been in there since she was 17, 19, and still doesn't have a court date. Look at it again real quick.
What's up?
How old are you?
I'm 19.
And how long you been here?
I've been here for going on 3 years since I was 17.
And why didn't you get sent to a juvenile home?
Because in the state of Georgia, you was considered as an adult at 17.
And what'd you do to
Fresh
end up
meat.
here?
Bait.
It's a long story.
And what are your charges?
I got armed robbery, aggravated assault, like serious charges. But
Armed robbery, aggravated assault. Now, armed robbery means you either pull a knife or a gun on somebody and threaten them in some way, shape, or fashion. Threaten them or demanded something. It could have been money, could have been a car, just could have been whatever, clothes, but you pulled out a weapon and you got hit with armed robbery and aggravated assault. Does that mean that you threatened somebody, hit somebody? Let me see exactly what that is. What is that? What is armed robbery? What's the Let me see some. What's the definition of armed robbery and aggravated? I hope I spelled that right. I didn't. Assault. But I'm sure they'll figure it out because that's what I want to know. Armed robbery, often legally called aggravated robbery, when a person commits a theft and ups the ante with a weapon. The act of person intentionally takes or attempts to take property from someone else's immediate possession. The arm factor: the perpetrator uses or exhibits a deadly weapon like a gun, knife, or even a heavy blunt object. It includes threatening the victim or placing them in fear of imminent bodily injury or death. If there's no taking of property, it isn't a robbery. It's just an assault. So aggravated assault becomes aggravated when the level of violence or the potential of violence moves beyond a simple scuffle. Intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causing serious bodily injury to another person. The aggravated factor, like robbery, this involves the use or exhibition of a deadly weapon during the commission of the assault, even if the victim isn't actually hit by the weapon. This refers to serious bodily injury. This refers to injuries that create a substantial risk of death, cause permanent disfigurement, or result in a loss, impairment of a body part or organ. Key distinction: unlike robbery, there is no requirement to steal anything. The crime is the violence itself. They say if someone points a gun at you and says, "Give me your wallet," that's armed robbery. If someone points a gun at you and says, "I'm going to shoot you," that is aggravated assault. So this is one thing I try to tell people about the system in these cases. When people commit like one act, but they get like multiple charges. She could have, let's say, had a knife or a gun, pointed at somebody and said, "Give me your money or I'll shoot you." That's 2 charges. Isn't that crazy? But that's how the law works. That's why I say you need to understand what I say, law and taxes in this country in order to survive. Because she probably wasn't even thinking about consequences because she was a baby. Okay, brain ain't fully developed. We get it. But, you commit a crime, you got to do the time. That's just what that is. But yeah, that is crazy. If you sit there and say, "Give me all your money or I'll shoot you," that's 2 charges at least. But anyway, let's finish this out.
Hey, I don't get no court date, no bond, no nothing.
So you're just kind of in limbo?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here in this dirty ass jail. Yeah, this is how this cell be looking. It could be 3 people in the room. This is how it look right now.
Someone's washing stuff in the sink?
Yeah, we wash our clothes in the sink.
Is that so you don't have to touch the toilet seat?
Yeah, so we don't have to touch
now this is weird because you're putting pads on a toilet so you don't touch the toilet. But it's only 3 of y'all in the cell, right? But it's 3 of y'all in the cell. But you put the pads on there for what? Because the toilet is cold, or you trying to stop germ? It's got to be because the toilet is cold, because y'all sitting on these pads, you only harboring germs. And I'm sure y'all ain't got that kind of commissary money to be wasting pads like this. You better start using toilet tissue like normal people. But anyway.
Put pads on the toilet.
And what do you think you'll do when you get out?
And this one here, that's probably... I ain't gonna laugh because it's sad. But I'm not even gonna say it. But it really is sad.
I'm going to school, get a job, do some productive stuff. Like, I ain't really lived my life. I've been here.
Is there anything you would do differently once you get out?
Yeah, don't come back.
Are you gonna change your friends?
See, she don't have a grasp or understanding of life yet. She said if you get out, she's gonna go to school. You've been there 3 years. Do they not offer schooling, programs like while she's in there right now? Well, maybe she's in holding. I don't know. She's not like technically like not a real inmate. I don't know. Somebody y'all tell me how the system works. But she says she's been there going on 3 years, and they ask her, "What you gonna do? Not come back?" Didn't say not gonna commit crimes, because she didn't say that she was innocent. I noticed that. So she basically said, "These are my charges," and that was it. She said, "These are my charges, but I didn't do it. I'm not getting a court date. I'm innocent." Nothing like that. Because usually that's what a person will say if they're innocent, like for real. Even what the hell, even if they're guilty, they'll say that. But she, like I say, she's so young in the mind, she don't even know how the game was played.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone has to get locked down now?
Yeah, everybody has to get locked down.
Give me that.
Nah, she does, like I said, she doesn't understand the severity of what she's going through. She's still a child, she's a baby, probably still crying at night. Well, she's been there 3 years, so it probably done all cried out, but she's still a baby, man. And like I say, and that is sad. Uh, One, if she committed the crimes, I'm a person that you really can't complain about your conditions or what's happening to you when you do wrong. You understand what I'm saying? Uh, I don't understand that. I personally, I'm tired of seeing stories of racism when when the main character has committed a crime or is committing a crime, and now justice is not treating them right. I can't rock with that. I mean, I just can't. And people probably gonna say, man, we get arrested all the time and get charged with crimes. A lot of time we be innocent. I get it. I get it. Stuff like that. Now, I'm all for it. But if you committed a crime or even have a history of committing a crime, you got a rap sheet, and you feel that folks are treating you bad or being racist toward you, I personally have very little compassion for that, because now I feel for you and people can change. But like I said, you do the crime, you do the crime, you do the crime, you do the time. That's just how the game goes. I understand that, you know what I'm saying? But if you did something wrong or you got a history of doing something wrong, it's going to follow you. It's going to catch up to you. And this is something that OGs, moms, dads, parents, grandparents, uncles, brothers, whoever need to tell these young folks. Stop letting these folks out here glorify this crime culture, this destructive culture. Stop letting them glorify this mess. And then when folks get caught up in the system, they want to holler victim. But what about your victim? The person that you armed, aggravated, assaulted, and armed robbed, or whatever, attempted, whatever the case may be. Those are, to me, that's the victims, not the ones that's in jail for doing the crime. Like I said, I can't rock with it. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever. Your race, ethnicity, your gender, it don't matter to me. Don't do it. Now, a lot of us, people make mistakes. People make choices, bad choices. I get it. We've all been there. Some of us have been caught. Some of us have not. But those of us who have been caught, I mean, you get caught, that's just the luck of the draw. Now, you got to suffer the consequences. And you are in the country that everybody hollers is racist toward our people when it comes to the justice system. And we know this. So instead of, there should be justice reform. There should be revamping and retraining of the police officers. Some of the laws need to be changed and tweaked. Yes, but that's what they can do. The question is, what can you do to limit your chances to be affected by this so-called racism? Try to live straight and narrow. Teach your kids how to live the straight and narrow. Who was I watching today? Sir Mix-a-Lot. Saw a clip of Sir Mix-a-Lot. He said it was just him and his mom. His brother and sister was older. They grew up, moved out the house. So he said, like, the house with him and his mom, it was just them there. And he said his mother would make him watch CNN for 2 hours every day. And he said he did not understand why she was doing it. He said it was corny. CNN was boring. Why was she doing that? And she told him because if she's in it, he said it was like something silly, but think about it. She said, if you're in the elevator full of white people and they ask you about what do you think about what the prime minister did in such country, this and the third, she said she wanted him to know what's going on in world events. So he wouldn't look stupid. Might sound corny, but it makes sense when you're trying. And you look at Sir Mix-a-Lot now, I mean, he's been a businessman forever, been in real estate, you know what I'm saying, made a lot of money on some music, knew his business, made tens of millions of dollars and living good. But his mother made him do things like that. I know my children, when they would get in trouble, I would make them like write definitions out of the dictionary. I would make them read the Dallas Morning News, the Wall Street Journal, and give me summaries, things like that. That that to stimulate their mind, to make them think about stuff, look at stuff, not only as a punishment, but I just make them read every day, just so they can learn and not be stupid and get into the habits of studying and understand the importance of studying. So when they get to school and stuff like that, it's just easy. You know what I'm saying? They can understand and grasp. And like I said, the both of them went to college, got degrees, and going back to school and just stuff like that and the third. But you got to put that into your children. Like I say, what can you do to minimize you being part of this system? You have been a victim of this racist system. Now, speaking of the system, that's just how it works. What they do, and I've seen this with people that I know, once they get you in there, they are trying to break you. So when it comes to the time of them sitting down with you and saying, hey, it's time to make a deal. Understand, if you can't afford a lawyer, you got a corner point of attorney, trust me. And if you paying for a lawyer, trust me, these lawyers and these judges, whether they want to admit it or not, because I've heard lawyers say this, they sit around and talk. And they sit around and talk about your case. And a lot of times they're trying to figure out a way to work deals out because they know how the game is. So instead of going to the courtroom, wasting time, because they don't have a whole lot of time in the courtroom, to hear cases, especially like little city cases, or cases like these, little criminal cases, family court case, stuff like that. They got all these court cases on the docket, and they don't have all day to be sitting here seeing like 20, 30 people. They're trying to get them in and out and on to the next one. So what they probably doing is on their lunch break, or they like after work at home when they're working on cases, trust me, a lot of times those lawyers are talking to each other to trying to figure out what to do about your situation. And they know if you may be found guilty or you going to do some time, or they know if your court case may drag on and they ain't got time or they ain't getting paid enough to deal with your court case. All that stuff factors in to what they plan on doing. And so what they'll do is they'll make it to where they'll, like I say, wait you out. Hopefully you will break. And then when it's time to actually go to this court case, and because I'm quite sure she's been in front of a judge a few times. I'm quite sure they probably gave dates and then pushed it back. Again, now I'm saying, the jail is overcrowded, so that doesn't make it even easier. You don't have a whole lot of court-appointed attorneys. They got these big case logs, and so they have to, go with priority, and then you might have a new case that might supersede yours, and it'll push you back. And they're like, oh, well, she can sit there and wait. We got to deal with this, and you're just a victim of the system. But they'll sit there and make sure that you will wait, and they'll play with you. Say, okay, we'll have a date here. Oh, let's push it back. Oh, let's push it back. We're still getting evidence. Oh, I need to talk to this person. They don't see it because they really don't take a whole lot of time on your case. So they don't have a whole lot of time. So by the time they come to her and say, hey, this is a deal. Aggravated robbery, aggravated assault, armed robbery, or whatever it says, armed robbery, aggravated assault. Uh, what we can get you is we can get you 15 because we're gonna look at you 17. You was young, we're gonna give you a chance. 15. We're gonna add the 3 years you've been there with time served, so which means it'll make it like 13. And on good behavior, I'm just gonna tell you you'll probably get out in 6 or 7, years, if that 5 years from now. That's a deal we can do. If not, we go to court. You can be looking 25 to life. What you want to do? And they're hoping that you say, let's take the deal so I can get this. Oh, hell, I've been in here 3 years. What's 6 more years? What's 5 more years? And they say, okay, well, we'll take it to the judge. We'll take it to the other lawyer and see what they say. That's how it works. That's how it works. You get into that system, they are going to hopefully let you rot in there for a long time, try to break you mentally and spiritually to where once it's time to, once they feel you've been there long enough and they can't hold you no much longer, let's work out a deal. I'm sure you want to do a deal. You see how this is. You don't want to be here for the rest of your life, but you got to be in here for some time. So let's make something work. Or I can give you 10-year probation. You can get out. But if you commit another crime, you'll be back and you'll do the whole 10 years. They'll offer you stuff like that, especially like I said, if you can't afford no lawyer. But these are things that you need to teach the youngins. I ain't never been to jail. I ain't never been to prison, but I know these things. So you don't have to be a person that says, man, I done did 10 years, man, I know what it's like. Let me teach these youngins. Because here's the problem. You'll have folks that say, that man been to jail. How he gonna tell me what not to do? And then you'll have somebody say, man, you ain't never been to jail, so how you gonna tell me what not? How you gonna tell me what to do and what not to do? Regardless, forget the messenger, listen to the message. And all this information now, if you don't believe what I'm saying, look it up. Look it up. You got cell phones, you got laptops and tablets, and you got AI, and you got Google. Look it up. It'll tell you exactly how the system works in your specific city and state. And you'll see. And these are things that you can teach your children. These things you can teach yourself and teach your peers. And then y'all got to figure out a way to do something different. Just because people are poor doesn't mean you have to have crime. People commit crimes not because they are poor, but because when they see how other people are living and they want to live like that, now they want to really start committing crimes. I mean, think about this. They say back in the day, we used to only eat once, maybe twice a day or once every other day, stuff like that. Now we believe that we got to eat 3 times. We got to have 3 meals a day. Or I'm quite sure we got grandparents. I don't remember my grandparents or great grandfather having a whole room full of clothes. But we're in a time now where we believe we got to have outfit for every day of the week. If not, our friends gonna sit down and laugh at it. I mean, back in the day, they used to sew patches on clothes and everybody was fine with that. But times have changed. People want to steal. People might got addictions, drug addictions, alcohol addictions. So they need that money to fuel those addictions. And so they go out there and commit crimes. But like I said, just because, and rich people can do these too, is what I'm saying. You don't have to be poor and you don't have to commit crimes just because you're poor, because there used to be a time when people respected what they had, was happy with what they had, even if they was living in the projects. They would keep their apartments, their houses clean, cook every day, sweep outside, vacuum, keep the kitchen clean, everything clean. They would do to keep the neighborhoods clean. They would do these things, but you have some people, as time went on, people got lazy, people got sour, people got nasty, and now you want to correlate poverty with crime and ratchetness and nastiness, and it doesn't have to be that way. That is a choice. But anyway, I went on a tangent. I'm done. Let me know what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, share it with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out of your day, but it means the world to us here at the channel. And with that being said, I leave you in peace and love, and I'll see you on the other side.